day the world changed was the day World War I began. The war began in August 1914. Not only was it a pivotal step for Canada and the men that fought for our country, also for women who contributed to the war. I grew up in a big family in Canada. Seeing my older and younger brother leave for war was heartbreaking. Not knowing if I will ever see them again makes me nervous. When they left, they told me to take care of my mother and my younger sisters. This meant that I would have to go out and find a job on my own. When I first started to look for jobs, nobody would take me seriously. I was only 19 years old, and people didn't expect me to do a job a man would. World War I was a pivotal time for women. This is because it gave us women opportunity to prove ourselves in a male-dominant society, doing more than cleaning the house and taking care of the children. With so many men going to war, there was a large gap in employment, and in response, women came in to replace the men. Some of the more well-known roles of women in World War I were nurses, factory workers, sewing bandages, selling war bonds, and spies. The Women's Royal Air Force was created, which is where women worked on planes as mechanics. Everyone saw the positions as women took as temporary. Men did not think that women were capable of jobs that required thinking, and now resented working women. Other men working with women would try to take an advantage and try to grab us while we walked past them. The work conditions were unfavorable. The buildings were very cold and often had many rats. We did not get paid the same wages as men, but did a more than acceptable job in replacing them. Many of us realized that we are not as useless as men had thought prior to the war, and we realized that we could do a men's job just as well. Although we had to go back to not working when the men came back, by the summer of 1920, 60% of women who became employed during World War I were now employed. Us working during the war started the fight for women to get equal rights.